This is Eddie Hearn, Matchroom Boxing. You're watching Sporting Icons. You don't need to be anywhere else.
All right, everyone, I hope you're all doing great, had a great day, all that kind of stuff. I watched this video this morning with Anthony Joshua having a chat with JD Sports. Of course, that's one of his many sponsors. And it's a 20-minute video going through some highlights of his fight with Andy Ruiz on June the 1st at Madison Square Garden. And very, very impressive interview, and I'll put a link to it in the description box. So entirely up to you how you want to do it. You can either pause this video right here, but make sure that you are subscribed so you can go watch that video, then come back here, and then maybe a lot of what I'm going to say in this video may make a bit more sense to you. If not, just watch this entire video, but subscribe anyway. It's fun over here. It's brilliant. Now, in this interview, first of all, I have to give big props to the guy who was talking to Anthony Joshua. I don't know his name. Don't even know if they even mentioned his name, to be honest. But either way, props to him, because he was asking AJ and making some statements about AJ that I've been saying and many of you guys have been saying as well. So props to him. Now, to start with, of course, they're talking about how Anthony Joshua, his ring walk, he was pacing around the ring and that, as well as him and Ruiz were being introduced by Michael Buffer and what have you, and he was chewing on the gum shield and showed a clip of him getting a massage on the back of the neck. And the guy said to AJ that this doesn't look like you. You don't usually do this. And again, I've said this, many of you guys did, and AJ understood what it was by looking at that. Because one thing I noticed about Joshua in this one as well is that he was actually listening and he was watching and he was studying as well, which is great. But he understood that why people like us were saying that didn't look like Joshua. Because that's not usually his action. Something didn't look right with him. And he understood that. His reaction was, yeah, I can see that. But honestly, how I felt was relaxed. Maybe too relaxed. So that was his argument for looking the way that he did. He didn't ask me about the massage on the neck. It's what it is, right? But I would have done. But the thing is that he understands why people would think that. Because right after the fight, of course, anybody who's seen him on Instagram, he's doing the stories, doing some live stream or what have you, people were commenting about it, and AJ was getting a little bit ratty about it. Like, why are people saying this for? For God's sake, blah, 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 blah. I think now he's watched it back, he understands why people were saying it didn't look like him. Okay, so I think now he's more accepting of what happened, and it's all about moving forward. Now, some parts in this fight where he said, which really justifies some of the things that I've been saying and you guys were, and one of them was that although he started well in round number 1 and round number 2, he was fully aware of what I said before the fight, because I was saying that Andy Ruiz Jr. can hit Joshua and land on him a whole bunch of times, because if Povetkin can, and if Takam can, and if Parker can at times, I suppose, as in shorter fighters, then Andy Ruiz Jr. is definitely going to do it. Andy Ruiz Jr. doesn't fight on the back foot. He's a front foot fighter, and he throws punches in bunches, and some punches we're going to get through. And it was all about how AJ took those shots and countered with his own. AJ is an exceptional counter puncher, but his punch resistance was virtually non-existent in this fight. And again, he mentioned this in this video as well. But so he knocked down Andy Ruiz Jr. after having 2 rounds of relative comfort, if you like, starting to figure out certain things about Ruiz and what have you. But then he was getting overconfident. And as he said, when he dropped down Andy Ruiz, he should have known better. He should have known that Ruiz wasn't hurt. Many of you guys who were with me on the live stream when I was doing my own version of the commentary on the fight, of course there was no sound, and you guys couldn't see the fight itself, but I was saying to Joshua after he knocked down there, stay away from him. He's not hurt. And look what happened. He started trading with Ruiz, which is the one thing you don't do, and he got caught. As he said, he got hit on the chin. That was fine, but it's a one on the temple. And as we've always said, in heavyweight division, one punch changes everything, or can change everything, and it did. That one punch on the temple is pretty much what ruined it for Joshua. Joshua could couldn't recover from all of it. His senses were all over the place. He didn't know where he was. All he knew was that he was in survival mode from that moment on. And again, those who say that Anthony Joshua quit in that fight are held to the no, he did not. I know plenty of people would love to say that and what have you, but he did not quit. Listen, he went down 4 times and got up on his down feet. Plenty of people after that third round, first knockdown, would have been pretty much over for him right there. And as Joshua said, had that happened to Ruiz, he wouldn't have made it to the 7th. And AJ was saying that I'm quite surprised I even made it to the 7th, which gives me a lot of confidence in the rematch. So that's one point. Now, what he was saying here is that with Andy Ruiz Jr., 9 times out of 10, AJ versus Ruiz, AJ will win. These are AJ's own words, okay? He was saying Joshua wins 9 times out of 10. This was Ruiz's one time, and it happened to be on one of the biggest stages around, okay? It shocked a lot of people. Of course it did. But the way that he's going on about this fight was like he overlooked Andy Ruiz. Again, something that I said, something that many of you guys said. And we were worried about it before the fight. I had countless videos on it, that he better not be overlooking Andy Ruiz. He better not be doing it, because I've seen Andy Ruiz fight plenty of times. I've spoken to Andy Ruiz on a few occasions. Do not overlook Andy Ruiz. And that's exactly what he done. Because I was starting to get arsey when some of the reporters kept asking about Wilder, Fury, Wilder, Fury, Wilder, Fury. And even though Joshua was saying before the fight, no, this is what people say. People ask me, that's fine. I'll just goes in one ear, out the other, but I'm fully focused. Well, in this interview, he admitted he was not fully focused on Andy Ruiz, because all the fights that he takes, he's concentrating on what's next. Many of you guys will remember when he fought Joseph Parker, he was fully concentrating on Joseph Parker. And even though people were battering questions about Deontay Wilder coming to the UK and getting in the ring with him after and everything, Josh was like, I ain't talking about Deontay Wilder, okay? He ain't getting in the ring. If he does get in the ring, it will be for me, but I've got a job to do. So my focus is him. In this one, he well and truly overlooked Andy Ruiz Jr. because he was thinking about what is next. He was looking at what's the next fight, which is something he doesn't usually do, which is why he was saying he was over-relaxed. As many fighters will tell you, they need a little bit of an edge coming into that ring. They need a little bit of fear. Joshua had no fear in this fight. And that one punch did change a lot of things. He was rattled. He didn't know how to control himself, control his body. His mind was there, but his body just wasn't reacting. And he went into survival mode, which is why I say he didn't quit. He got up 4 times. Not many people will get up 4 times when you just can't recover. When every ounce of your soul is telling you, stay on the floor. It's over. I ain't winning this fight. But he just kept on getting up. And of course, he subliminally blamed the referee for stopping the fight too early. Then kind of retracted it, saying, the referee, he's got a job to do and this, that and the other. But what he was saying was that the referee was almost manipulating ending the fight, because he pushed Joshua back. He pulled him forward by the top of his shorts, pushed him back again, said, are you okay? Joshua said, yeah. The referee called it off. Because Joshua, he relaxed, go pick up my gum shield off the floor, go give it a wash, put it in my mouth. So that's why he just relaxed, waiting for the referee to do it. This is what cost him. So going forward, Joshua's going to know, don't trust the referee. And all fighters should know this. And to be honest, Joshua should have known this. But it is what it is. Did the referee stop it too early? I'm not too sure. I think that the referee ultimately did Joshua a favour, because Joshua wasn't going to land that one big knockout punch, because he couldn't even, properly land on Ruiz. And even some of the punches that he was throwing that was landing on Ruiz wasn't having too much effect on Ruiz, because he just wasn't performing at his full capabilities. He wasn't stepping into the shots and getting ready with the counters. Because as we said beforehand, the thing with Andy Ruiz is, when you land on him, his reaction isn't to go defensive or back away or try and duck the shot or anything like that. When you hit him, his reaction is to throw straight back. And I'm glad that Joshua knew this coming into the fight. But it still didn't work for him, okay? Because he got caught. That's the end of the story. He just got caught and Joshua couldn't recover from it. So that is what it is. But there were so many things in here where he is so confident about the rematch. He knows that if it wasn't for that one shot, he would have defeated Andy Ruiz. But I'm glad in some ways that he's taken this more seriously. He knows that Yes, it was that one shot and it did change, but he knows also that he needs to be on his game. And as he said there, this is supposed to be the road to undisputed, not the road to Andy Ruiz Jr. But ultimately, that's how it is right now, because he was overlooking Andy Ruiz. And this will be a valuable lesson for Anthony Joshua going forward. No matter who's in front of you, you're going to get mandatories where 9.9 times out of 10, you're going to blast them. But if you look past any heavyweight, that one punch can clean your clock. That one punch can change the outcome of how a fight should go. Now, let's not overlook Andy Ruiz in the rematch, okay? Because too many people were looking at Ruiz beforehand. Now they're saying, well, maybe he can actually beat Joshua. And I'm glad people are saying that. And more importantly, I'm glad Joshua knows that also he could lose again against Andy Ruiz, and he will be training for Andy Ruiz. He will be, well, slipping the shots is one thing, right? And not going for the kill when your opponent isn't ready to go. Okay, so anyway, there are so many more nuggets in that video. As I said, the video is in the description box. You'll see what it is that I'm trying to say to you. That to get from round 3 to round 7 is pretty phenomenal. In truth, it's pretty phenomenal quite how he got there. And he can take a lot of heart from that, and hopefully he does. I'm sure that he went through a pretty dark place, which is why I'm saying he was doing some, well, he's dropping like a lot of F-bombs on his Instagram Live and that at times. But that's because he was hurting. And I'm glad that he was hurting, because now he's going to take this rematch more serious. And going forward, he's going to know this can happen again. So if he gets past Andy Ruiz Jr., he's also going to have that in the back of his mind. Doesn't matter who it is that he's fighting. Doesn't matter. Fight a journeyman who miraculously becomes the mandatory. Don't overlook anyone. Don't go to that ring fully confident. Go to that ring with a bit of fear in your heart, and that's how you perform. That's how Joshua performs. But of course, after Andy Ruiz, if everything goes well, what's he going to have to do? Fight another short fighter, Alexander Usyk. Joshua doesn't perform well against shorter fighters, as we've seen. But anyway, first things first, Andy Ruiz Jr. No more talk about Wilder. No more talk about Tyson Fury or Dillian Whyte or Alexander Usyk or whoever the hell. Andy Ruiz, Andy Ruiz, Andy Ruiz. Anyway, drop your thoughts below about it. Click thumbs up, subscribe. Catch you all on the next one.